Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to podcast Room 303. I'm your host, Jermaine Colon Mendez. This is my co-host, Nicholas Moorhan. And as always, wait a minute. As you notice, there's a conspicuous absent this evening. How you doing, Nick?
Where is he? Where'd he go? He's not here. He's not there. He's not there. He's not up here.
If you'd like to see Eric, click the button located here, right? Have you seen those YouTube videos?
That's right. If you want to see Eric, donate $1 to the Save Eric from His Bed because he got way too drunk this weekend. Fun.
We have started a GoFundMe for Eric. It's consists of a Chipotle meal, Pedialyte, a suite of vitamins, and an IV treatment.
Yeah.
Oh, Eric just messaged me.
Did he? He's going to be really grumpy.
Yeah, so we're in the middle of the show. We're already burying him, and it looks like Eric finally woke up.
That's good. He woke up to your woo. All right, to answer your first question before Eric rudely interrupted us, not even being on the show.
And he still managed to interrupt us. How, Sway? How?
That's actually pretty good. That's actually good. His executive producer Spidey senses are getting better.
Oh, he knew. He's just like, I missed it. It's like when you wake up and you wake up in such a hurry and then you're looking around and you're like, oh, I'm late for work. And then it's Sunday.
Yeah.
That's what happened to Eric right now.
Or it's like 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah, it's 4:00. You spent like 2.5 hours of sleep and you're
right.
just so stressed about whatever task at work you need to do.
Right.
All right, so we've been derailed by Eric, who's not with us.
I'm good. This weekend, so a podcast weeks back, maybe months back. We asked top 5 performances you've ever been to, and this weekend I went to see Rufus Du Sol at the Gorge Amphitheater outside of Seattle, about 2.5 hours outside of Seattle, and I have a new entry. There he is. Oh,
ladies and gentlemen, back from the dead.
The rumors of his death have been greatly exaggerated.
The GoFundMe for Chipotle, Pedialyte, and a suite of vitamins has been canceled. We found him. At least he's on brand. He's doing it for the brand with the Room 303 shirt.
Holy cow, Eric! This is like Jordan's flu game. This is going to be Eric's podcast.
Hey, I muted you, so
can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that Jordan flu game, man. I jumped in bed after work and no alarm, nothing. My bad, y'all, but glad I made it. So.
Wow, you missed it, but.
Well, yeah, I missed the kickoff, but I showed up late, but I'm still here to perform.
Well, we'll see about that.
Yeah, we'll see. We've checked in with Eric enough. We're gonna mute him back again.
I think you muted yourself when you were trying to mute Eric. This is just going off. Do you see what happens, Eric?
I did mute myself.
Derailed the whole thing, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, the Gorge Amphitheater. If you guys out there have a chance to go, like I said, 2.5 hours outside of Seattle. It's an amazing venue, and it was an amazing show.
And you said Rufus Du Sol, correct?
Rufus Du Sol. Yep. It means Rufus of Sun.
Son of Rufus?
Yeah, son of Rufus. Rufus of the giant ball of fire in the sky.
All right, so today's episode, we're going to get into the head-to-head. We'll be doing Week 4 review and Week 5 bets. Yes, it's a little early and in the week, and we don't try to bring these bets as early so we can get better lines and we know some of the injury situations. But this week is jam-packed with MLB postseason starting on Thursday with the wild card games. And we have a special treat as far as the NHL preview goes. That's right. We're already back into the NHL season. We have special guest correspondent and prime time executive producer, Nevada Putnam, joining us. It'll be our first ever 4-person podcast. Well, not first ever video. So hopefully Nevada is up to snuff. And he has his beard shaved in military regulations.
Unlike myself.
Unlike the 3 people currently in today's podcast.
Correct.
And then Pop Culture Pick'em. Eric created a list that he uses for us to select Pop Culture Pick'ems, but he decided not to share it to either of the hosts. So Nick and I created our own, and we are now at top 5 musicals.
Wait, you guys don't have access to that?
We don't have access to it. Normally, when you create a document, you have to share it to other people, Eric.
I mean, all right, whatever. I see that you guys have access. My bad.
What's it called?
The Pick Tracker All Leagues.
Yeah, no. Where's the list of just Pop Culture Pick'em ideas?
Oh, that one's on my phone. That one. Yeah. My bad.
He tried to throw us. He tried to throw us a little distraction there, a little chaff.
Yeah, nobody believes you, Eric. We caught you red-handed, you schmuck.
Yeah,
you schmucking a pancake. Schmucking a pancake. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the top 5 musicals. The order for today's podcast is myself, Nick, and Eric, and whoever spelled my name spelled it wrong. That is hysterical. I'm going to go ahead and take an actual musical that I performed in when I was in high school, and it's A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum.
Okay. What is this musical about? I've never heard this musical.
That's a great question, actually. Now I don't remember what this musical was about. It was about love and stuff happening on the way to the forum. I actually blanked on what it's about.
And what part did you play? Do you remember that?
I played Erroneous, yeah.
Wow, egregious and erroneous.
Yeah. And
okay.
I was just this old guy that walked around with a cane. It was
what's it called? On the Way to the Forum?
Yeah, we should probably look that up, huh?
Yeah, let's look at it. A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. It was a 1996 musical comedy. All right, from Wikipedia. In the city of Rome during the reign of Emperor Nero. Oh, God.
Oh, you're mad because it's Nero?
No, not Nero. Cyadalus. Here, I'll post it in the chat since.
Oh, you didn't know how to. No, that's Pseudolus.
Pseudolus is the lyingest, cheatingest, sloppiest slave in all of Rome, whose only wish is to buy his freedom from his master's parents, the henpecked Cynix, and his overbearing wife, Dominia. That's pretty funny. When he finds out that his master's handsome but dim son Hero has fallen in love with the beautiful Philia from the house of Marcus Lycus next door. How do you say his name?
It's probably Lysis, Marcus Lysis.
No, say the homeboy's name again that I posted in the chat.
Oh, Pseudolus.
Pseudolus makes a deal. He will get the girl for Hero in return for his freedom. So there we go.
Yeah, it's a pretty entertaining musical. It's fun to watch in person, even more fun to actually perform itself. I just remember the plot not really having too much. It was just a funny musical. So the plot was kind of standard issue, but that's what it is. Whoa.
Erroneous is Cynix's next door neighbor. So that's the part that your very own Jermaine Colomendes played.
Yeah, buddy. All right, Nick, it's on to you.
Okay, I'm going to pick my favorite music of all time. It's going to be The Greatest Showman.
You're going to tell the story, or am I going to tell the story?
You tell the story.
So, Nick and I were at Diego Garcia together. I'm sure you've heard that part of the story before. We have a movie theater on there. It's part of a morale thing. Most of the Hollywood companies sign up with the Navy to provide it for the troops, and it's a great service. So it's kind of this outdoor theater with still has like rooftop coverage because it rains there all the time.
It's free, by the way, as well.
Oh yeah, and it's free. And I was always like, let's go. Nick was always like, fuck off. No. But he would always tag along anyways.
I was like, let's drink.
And then we get drunk and go to the movies.
Right.
One of the ones I wanted to see was the Zac Efron, Hugh Jackman musical. And Nick, for weeks leading up to it, because we would plan our schedules pretty well out, and he was just like, I hate musicals. I don't want to see musicals. Musicals suck. And then he proceeds to sit there for The Greatest Showman and be the most enthralled individual of the actual packed house, and then get up and walk away and be like, that is one of the best musicals I've ever seen. And then to go further, he might even be one of his better movies he's ever seen.
I can judge a movie, but I don't like rewatching movies, right? I like watching new movies, and I like watching maybe older movies that I haven't seen. But I don't like rewatching movies. So that's a kind of test of if I rewatch a movie, I like a movie. And I have bought The Greatest Showman from Amazon multiple times on multiple different devices just to put it on while like cleaning or something. It is probably if it's not my most played soundtrack on my iPhone, it's my second or third most played soundtrack.
What would be first? What soundtrack you bumping more than The Greatest Showman?
That's right now I can't think. I can't think of what
Titanic.
Yeah. Remember the Titans?
Oh, dude! Shout out Celine Dion. Hope she gets better.
What's wrong with Celine?
Apparently, she got some sort of random illness. They can't explain how it happened. She's lost her Las Vegas residency, and rumor has it she may or may not be in a wheelchair. All of the being sick and canceling the residency are accurate. The wheelchair, I don't know if you can corroborate that, but it's one of those things where all the people who who beat their chest about don't take the vaccine, and then everyone's favorite singer from Titanic decides, it's time to wrap it up. She was 54 and pretty healthy.
I blame Sonny.
Do you mean Sonny and Cher?
Yeah, I blame Sonny.
So it's still his fault, even though this is Celine Dion.
All right.
Let's move on, Eric. Go ahead and give us your next picks, please.
All right. So this is probably one of the worst categories for me, as I don't really enjoy musicals that much. So I have a question.
Have you seen The Greatest Showman?
I actually haven't, so I'm probably going to add that to the queue and watch.
Well, there you go. It's one of the greatest musicals I've ever seen.
So with my first pick, I'm not sure if it's a musical, but I'm going to say it, and then you guys can judge me on it. I'm going to go with my first pick is going to be 8 Mile.
That's so funny.
That's a musical, right?
It's a musical. I
guess we'll allow it. It's not a musical.
If we're counting Disney movies, we're counting 8 Mile.
Yeah, we'll allow 8 Mile. It's not a musical in the traditional sense, but nobody's gonna be like, oh, it doesn't belong in this category.
Damn it! I had it on my list too because I was gonna drop it on you guys at the end. That's a good pick, Eric.
Wow, we're fighting over 8 Mile, huh? We're already scraping the bottom.
No, I got a lot, but I was going to drop that on you guys at the end.
I'm glad I went first because I don't have that many musicals I've seen. So with my second pick, I don't know if you guys saw this movie. It came out last year. Have you guys seen Tick, Tick, Boom on Hulu?
No, I heard it's good, though.
It's actually really good. I saw it on Hulu, but it's the Andrew Garfield where he plays the dude who wrote Rent. Which I believe is a musical as well. I've never seen Rent, but I've seen Tick, Tick, Boom. So
yeah, Rent's
I'm going to put that on my
arguably one of the most popular musicals
of all time. Yeah. Back to me. All right, I'm going to go back to back with musicals that I hated, just for the absent mind of it. The first one being obviously The Greatest Showman, and then when I finally watched them, I was like, man, that's a really good musical. My second pick is going to be Hamilton. If you haven't watched the Hamilton musical, and I'm talking about the Andrew Lloyd Webber, not Andrew Lloyd Webber.
You're talking about he's Puerto Rican. Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda, to say it the white way. If you watch his Hamilton, it's a fantastic movie film. And I hear a fantastic play on Broadway, but I watched.
Yeah, that one huge following. I think to me it was like the first musical in a few years since like Wicked that actually like popped to where people couldn't stop talking about it. Speaking of, this is a professional podcast. I'm going to go ahead and take Wicked for my next pick here. It's as good as advertised. I thought it was all hype. Went to go see it with my buddy Alex. The same day we lost each other in the great city of New York, and somehow we're on the same train home, but he was in the front and I was in the back. And so we made it home. Shout out being drunk in New York with no phone. And you can't find your friend. Not as fun as you would think. And then number 3.
Is you think Wicked is the best? I guess this might be a question that you got to think about for a little bit. But is Wicked the best movie off a movie?
Best musical off a movie?
No, best movie off a movie. Or yeah, I was gonna say best musical off a musical, but I couldn't think of another one.
Is it
because it's from The Wizard of Oz? The
right.
Wicked story comes from The Wizard of Oz. So I guess my question is it the best
like
movie created because of another movie?
Is Wicked a movie?
Probably not. That's a dumb question. Your pick. No. It's a great question.
Okay.
That was an example of a good question. My question was an example of a stupid question that wasn't really thought out. I just kind of thought it in my head and then tried to execute it live on air.
It is in post-production. It comes out in 2024.
Oh, well, there we go.
You don't get bailed out. Fuck out of here, bro. Get out of here.
Exactly what I was thinking.
So things that fall into that criteria, The Lion King has a fantastic musical. I probably shouldn't have said that since it's going to make my list. But Spider-Man has a fantastic musical. Harry Potter has a fantastic musical.
Frozen on Ice.
Dude, I heard Frozen on Ice does slap, but I also don't have kids and I don't like Frozen.
I've seen it, so
I don't think Frozen's bad. It's just I don't have kids, so I'm not hyped into it. But anyways, my third pick is going to be The Book of Mormon.
Good one.
Fantastic musical if you have not seen it.
Trey Parker, Matt Stone.
Yeah. I didn't see it with the original cast, which I'm sure adds a little more to it, but I saw it touring. I saw it 2 different places. I saw it once in Minneapolis and once in Virginia. And I think it's fantastic, but it's right up my alley since I like South Park. So, right. All right, Nick, go ahead and give us your third one.
My third one is going to be something that they're actually not going to feature on Broadway anymore. So see it before it leaves. It's the Phantom of the Opera. They're
getting rid of that?
They are getting rid of the Phantom on Broadway.
Oh, that's kind of tragic. That made me sad a little bit. I've never even seen the actual play, but it's
after 35 years, the Phantom of the Opera will stop haunting Broadway this winter. The Phantom of the Opera will haunt the Paris Opera House for the last time, a Broadway fixture since 1988. The Phantom of the Opera will conclude its run February 18th, 2023.
Wow. That's tragic.
That is an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical, by the way.
the original guy you were trying to name.
Yeah, the original guy that I was trying to say.
Yo, how crazy is that? That musical has been on Broadway longer than any of us have been alive.
So apparently it's the hardest role. Or I guess it's not. It won't be anymore as of 2023. But the Phantom is the hardest role to get on Broadway. Even our aforementioned Greatest Showman star Hugh Jackman was in the play for a very long time and was never the Phantom.
That's crazy because that dude's got some serious chops.
He's got
some serious chops. All right, Eric, let's go ahead and get your next 2.
All right, so man, this is tough. I'm running out. I guess I'm gonna go Moulin Rouge because I watched that movie with my mom a bunch when I was a kid.
Hell yeah, that's a fantastic movie.
It's a good one. We know more about musicals than I think we let on.
I know.
No,
we're all surface level. Like these are all movies and things people have heard of. Like we ain't named any sneaky. We hit 8 Mile in the first round. Like we're not.
You name something happened on the way to the Forum. That's a little sneaky.
Well, yeah, but I was in it. All right, so 1 of 9 so far.
Right.
Let me see here. Man, I guess the Freddie Mercury movie, Bohemian Rhapsody. I'll go with that because I really like Queen and it was a pretty good movie, so I'll rock with that.
It's a good pick. It's a good pick.
All right.
It's a great movie.
So, okay, cool.
I'll continue the trend, but I'm going to go with a play adapted for a movie, or maybe it was a movie adapted for a play, or a play, whatever I'm trying to say. But Rock of Ages.
Oh, I have that in my list right now for Netflix. I love that movie, dude.
Yeah, it's so good.
Tom Cruise, man.
Such a good. The cast is stellar. The acting is stellar. Tom Cruise just gets to be Tom Cruise. That's what makes the movie great.
Yeah. That dude's a fucking maniac. Oh man. All right. Now that we've talked about Tom Cruise unexpectedly, I'm gonna go ahead and take for my last two, I'll take The Lion King and Jersey Boys.
Those are good. Two great picks. Who could fight them?
Absolutely. All right, so back to you, Nick.
You know what? There's a lot of stuff on here. There's a lot of stuff that I still have on my list. I'm gonna finish it with one of my favorite animated movies, and that's gonna be Sing.
Oh, with the animals. I actually was trying to watch Sing 2 the other day. I haven't seen it yet, though.
Sing 2 is
not as good, obviously. The first one is fantastic. My mom told me to watch it, so I watch, and she rarely misses when she tells me to suggest if the movies are good or not.
Yeah, it was really good.
Oh, wow. Look at them. They're targeting Cooper Kupp forced. It wasn't open. So they're kicking a field goal. Dummies. All right, Eric, what's your who spelled Rhapsody?
Oh, that was definitely me, and I definitely spelled it wrong.
How do you spell it? Okay, here we go. Fantastic. Eric spelled Rhapsody. RHAPSODUY. Let's throw this into Google. I don't have my phone on me. I was going to throw this into Google Translate and see what Eric spelled.
He had it right. He just put a U in front of the Y.
Right.
Other than that, it's not bad. All right, Eric, what's your
last pick? And I think that was honestly just a typo. Last pick.
Yeah, it was a typo. You typoed it wrong.
From musicals I've seen, I guess I gotta go with like Chicago.
Another fire choice.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. Or 9. I'll go with Chicago.
9?
What's 9?
The musical with Daniel Day-Lewis.
There's a musical with Daniel
Everything
Day-Lewis?
you just said broke my brain. Like, what? That sounds fire. 9, huh? Let me look that up. Are you looking it up, Nick?
So 9, a live action film. What's with all these Italian names, man? In 1965, Guido Contini is a gifted Italian filmmaker at the famous Cinecittà movie studios in Rome. At the age of 50, Guido has developed writer's block and conjures all the women in his life for inspiration. Not shocking that Eric's seen this one now. Including Luisa, his wife, Claudia, his star actress, Claudia, his star actress, Carla, his mistress, Lily, his costume designer and confidant, Stephanie, an American fashion journalist from Vogue, Sarah G, and then Hina. How would you say that?
G and then what? How do you spell it? Just spell it.
Saragina.
Oh, it's all one word.
All one word.
Sarragiani?
Sarragiana? Maybe. It sounds more Italian. Maybe if I just say it Italian. A prostitute from his childhood and his beloved mama.
Look at this cast. Daniel Day-Lewis, Marion Cotillard, Penelope Cruz, Judi Dench, Fergie. Oh, she's down to one name. How crazy is that?
Fergie's the prostitute, right?
I would imagine because these other ladies don't really.
You imagine if Judi Dench was the prostitute?
Bro, I would tune in just for that. That's hysterical. Kate Hudson, Nicole Kidman, and Sophia Loren.
Wow.
That is a cast, bro.
I might have to go watch it. That's a good cast. Good pick, Eric.
First of all, Daniel Day-Lewis in a musical. Like he could play all the roles. I'd have to watch that. No matter what.
He could play all the roles, but they'd have to make it like 10 years later because he'd have to do deep character dives into each role.
Yeah, 100%. He needs a 1-year workup for each role. All right, Eric, give us the final list, and then we'll keep it pushing into the head-to-head and Week 4 review.
All right, so Jermaine had the first pick. He went with A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, Wicked, The Book of Mormon, Lion King, and Jersey Boys. Nick had the second pick. He had The Greatest Showman, Hamilton, Phantom of the Opera, Rock of Ages, and Sing. I, with the third pick, took 8 Mile, Tick Tick Boom, Moulin Rouge, Bohemian Rhapsody, and Chicago.
A couple of honorable mentions. I already mentioned Frozen from the Frozen on Ice, Frozen. Pitch Perfect, Mamma Mia, Grease, Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid.
My goodness. You just named them all?
Maybe. Mulan.
Mulan is a fantastic one. And then you gotta say Moana. Moana is fire too.
Moana. Yeah, you're welcome.
Did you say Moana?
I did not.
Oh, okay. All right, so that wraps it up. We'll go ahead and get into the head-to-head for this week and then the Week 4. Well, should we do the Week 4 review first? Let's do the Week 4 review first.
Yeah, we're still waiting on this game to finish for the head-to-head to conclude.
Yeah, I know. We've made the new rule that Monday Night Football is off limits. Okay. Only Sunday games can be picked. No Thursday and no Monday.
Okay. Funny enough that you mentioned that, Jermaine. How many teams in NFL history before this weekend allowed 45-plus points and won the game? Bonus question, how many teams have done it on the road prior to this weekend?
There's that Rams and Chiefs game. That set the world on fire. I think that was the year Patrick Mahomes threw for 50 tutties and then went to the Super Bowl, and I believe that's the year he lost to Tom Brady in the AFC Championship.
2018, correct? Your team has been involved in one.
Yeah, so I was going to say that one next, but in the Rams-Chiefs game, I think the home team won. Correct?
I actually don't know. It doesn't list who the road team was.
Oh, I thought you said how many of them did it on the road.
Yeah, I have the stat, but it doesn't tell me who was home and who was away.
Oh, okay. It's Saints versus Giants, Eli Manning versus Drew Brees. Drew Brees threw 6 touchdowns, and Eli Manning also threw 6 touchdowns, where he threw 5.
2015, correct?
Absolute barn burner of a matchup. Let's see. 50-point games. Very rare. How did you say how many occurrences there were?
So before this weekend, there were 11 in which a team has allowed 45-plus points and won the game. And only 3 times that it's happened on the road.
Okay, yeah, I'm drawing blanks already. That's a lot of points. I don't know if I can think of that.
Oh, I just gave you the answer, so it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, so what other games were there?
So, 2019, San Francisco beat New Orleans 48-46. You already mentioned 2018, 2015. 2013, Denver beat Dallas 51-48. 2007, Cleveland beat Cincinnati 51-45. 2004, Cincy beat Cleveland 58-48. The Jets beat Miami in 1986. Seattle beat Kansas City in 1983. 1983 actually had 2 occurrences of this happening because earlier in 1983, Green Bay beat Washington, then the Redskins. 1963, Oakland beat Houston, and 1962, New York, or the Jets, beat Denver. Damn. And then the 12th time and the 4th time on the road in history, The Seahawks this weekend beat the Detroit Lions 48-45.
Beat the Detroit Lions 48-45. What an absolute crazy game. That was a crazy, crazy game. I don't understand. Oh, man. Detroit. You got to feel for them. Seahawks was the play there. I believe they were the road favorite. So I don't even know if they covered the spread, to be honest.
I believe it was a pick'em, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Even with DeAndre Swift being out, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, DJ Shark, I would be shocked if it was a pick'em. All right. So I can't believe I didn't remember that 49ers Saints game. That game was wild. George Kittle absolutely punked us at the end. Saints can't guard tight ends. I don't know what it is.
Oh, no, that's week 5. Week 4, the game opened Seattle 3.5 dogs on the road.
It opened. Did it close?
It closed Seattle 3.5 dogs. It opened Seattle +6 dogs.
Oh, okay. So the injuries forced that line down, and then wait, they were the dogs, so they won anyways. Yeah, they should have been the favorites in that game after those injuries.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, it is still Seattle. All right, let's get into the week 4 review. We had on Thursday night, we had the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Miami Dolphins. So Cincinnati was the home team. They ended up winning 27-15. Prayers up for Tua. You guys want to add anything on this?
It seems like every year we have sideline doctors add in their take on whether a player should play or not. You have to think. I'm going to give Miami the benefit of the doubt. You have a new analytic coach. You have your young star quarterback, and you're playing a team that it doesn't really matter if you beat on short rest, right? I think they went through every possible stage to get him cleared, and he cleared concussion protocol. Here's the question, right? Are we debating whether Tua was good to play physically or whether he passed NFL concussion protocol? Because both of those could be true.
They're not mutually exclusive.
They're not mutually exclusive. He could pass the legendarily terrible NFL concussion protocol and not be physically able to play. So the fact that people are crapping on the Dolphins for this, they're going by the NFL's concussion protocol.
It's an independent neurologist that is appointed purely to clear players to enter games whether they've had the concussion or not.
And has been fired, by the way.
Who has been fired because somebody had to take the fall, but he followed the protocols. This is what bothered me about the whole situation.
Yeah, you're right. He got fired, so now the NFL can say, well, no, he was the bad one.
Exactly.
He was the bad one following the rules that we gave him, following the rule sheet that we handed him.
Part of the investigation is there was multiple infractions. I was like, okay, what are the multiple infractions? Are you just not saying what those are? And now they're changing the rules. So if anyone shows clear instability, that they can't re-enter the game. Okay. That probably should have been in the goddamn rules in the first place.
Don't you think? Yeah.
Because if someone stands up and falls over, I don't think you want them going back in the game. Also, people are just getting on the Dolphins case. How many times have we seen players self-report concussion-like symptoms, get put into the concussion protocol, and then not be able to play the next week because they put themselves in it? Tua is also responsible for himself. If he didn't feel comfortable, he should have removed himself as well. Then you hear they test him every day leading up to the
Thursday night football game.
They took a look at him every time. Prior to the game, people had conversations with him. They thought he was lucid. They thought he was fine. There was no symptoms. There was no red symptoms of concussion. But he hit his head again.
4 days after he hit it before.
4 days after. Look, you can be upset all you want, and I understand. We want to make sure we're taking care of these players, especially for an injury you can't see and you don't know the impacts, right? But at the same time, it's like everyone's just being outraged and taking it out on the Dolphins with no tangible proof and not being in the room.
Yeah, I wanna piggyback off of that because did you guys watch the Sunday night game? We all saw Brake get the concussion, come back in for the last 2 minutes of the game, and then the coach is bumbling on, and then they pull him for the rest of the game for a concussion, and then the coach at the end of the game is trying to bumble through an answer as to why he went back in if he clearly had a concussion. And also, if you think about it, a UFC, right? Mixed martial arts, some of the toughest guys in the world, they crack their noggins. Those guys won't do physical activity for 25 to 30, 40 days after. We're throwing dudes back on the field 4 days after to get hit by a 350-pound defensive end, slammed on the ground. The NFL needs to do a much better job of protecting its players. And I understand people hearing oh, if my guy gets a concussion, he can't be out 30 days. It sucks for my fantasy team. What about his family, his kids, and his mental health? We got to take better care of these guys. They're entertainers. They're humans. They don't need to put their life on the line like this every time. Yes, they get paid handsomely, but the NFL as a whole needs to do a better job. It's not the Miami Dolphins that should be catching the heat. It's the NFL.
Let me tell you this story, right? I don't play football, but here's the thing. It was about a month ago that I was in a car accident, just like a fender bender. It probably happened at 15, 20 miles per hour, right? Gave me a little bit of whiplash, nothing big. That was on a Saturday night, right? Got home Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Also got hit with a positive COVID test. So was at home, looking at 3 screens, right? The 70-inch TV you see behind me, humble brag. The laptop that I have in front of me, and then the monitor that I'm talking to you fine people on right now. I was on those screens for about 12 hours on Wednesday. And on Wednesday night, I had narrowing of vision. I had nausea. I had a pain at the base of my skull. I had the rehashing of the TBI symptoms, right? And that was just from staring at screens. Now think about what Tua has been doing all week. He's been in dark rooms, staring at screens, staring at Surface tablets. His brain is not healed. If someone would have talked to me Monday, someone would have talked to me Tuesday, they were he's perfectly fine. Somebody would have talked to me Wednesday, I would have been fine. Somebody would have talked to me to Wednesday night. I put a bowl of soup in my microwave. Didn't shut the microwave. Turned around, forgot what I was doing, walked around my house. 5 minutes later, turned around and looked at my microwave, and the microwave was still open with cold bowl of soup in it. I'm not trying to go out there and I was trying to watch Netflix. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to go out there and diagram cover 2 from cover 3.
Yeah. And that's what I was trying to get at. The man went through a week of everything. So it's tragic, but everyone's so quick to jump and just be outraged. But I feel like that's just the natural state of people now. They need something to be outraged for. Does it need to be fixed? Absolutely. Does it suck that this happened to Tua? Absolutely. Does it suck it happened to the Dolphins? Absolutely. But maybe their protocols aren't good enough. And you know what the NFL and the NFL Players Association is telling us? Their protocols are not good enough, and that's why they are expected to change as early as this week.
Yeah. I mean, it's it kind of sucks, but there's a saying that you remember from the military, Jermaine. Every rule is written in blood. The military does not change stuff unless somebody dies because they have no need to. But the second that somebody gets killed, now you have all these rules and regulations that come into place that you're listen, dudes have been screaming for this for years. And now you put it in just because something bad happens. It's the same with the NFL.
100%.
They're a $1 billion organization. If they don't want to change it, they won't.
The NFL has and is always been reactionary. They are never proactive. So it's not shocking that we're here. We'll be here again in a few years, and we'll be here again in a few more years until it's finally hammered down. And it's unfortunate, but it's going to take more high-profile players like this to actually, because there's a difference between tight end Cameron Brate, which is not being covered nationally right now. There isn't dozens of reports and dozens of push notifications being sent to phones, even though Cameron Brate did the same goddamn thing, right? So it takes high-profile players to make action. That is why you can't hit the quarterback low anymore, because Tom Brady tore an ACL. So let's get into some of these other games. We had the first London game of the season at 6:30 a.m. Pacific start time, which was the Minnesota Vikings, technically on the road, taking on the New Orleans Saints. Absolute barn burner of a matchup. The Vikings eked it out 28-25, despite the Saints playing Andy Dalton, Mark Ingram, and Chris Olave over their traditional starters. Next matchup, we have the Cleveland Browns losing to Atlanta on the road, 23-20. The Commanders lost to the Dallas.
Keep in mind, Cleveland lost 23-20 to a Marcus Mariota-led Falcons team. Marcus Mariota in a football game went 7 for 19 with 139 yards and beat the Cleveland Browns.
God, there's been some awful quarterback play this year. Justin Fields, I don't know what he did in this game, and I'll look it up when we get into it, but he's averaging 15 pass attempts a game, and he's averaging 99 pass yards through the first 3 weeks. I will check this game when we get to it, when we discuss the Bears, but that is putrid. That is putrid.
Fields in this Bears game had... Where is it scrolling down? Justin Fields was 11 for 22 for 174 yards.
So he had 22 attempts, finally. Had 174 yards. Look at that. More attempts, more yardage. Who would have thought? Bears still lost to the New York Giants 20-12.
He got sacked 6 times, by the way.
It's one of the worst off. Look, we've said it before. We're going to say it again. We'll say it all year. The Chicago Bears are sacrificing Justin Fields to the gods.
And yet they're 2-2.
May they accept him as tribute. Dallas Cowboys.
Also, fun stat. Justin Fields has the same number of rushing and passing attempts this year.
What?
Same number of passing completions and rushing attempts this year.
Oh, dude, that was just like, yo, he's running a ton. That's crazy. That is a crazy stat.
In the 4 weeks, like Jermaine just mentioned, in his 4 weeks, 8, 7, 8, 11 passing completions, 11, 8, 8, 7 rushing attempts.
Man, that's not good. The Dallas Cowboys at home defeated the Washington Commanders 25-10. Absolutely shellacking Carson Wentz and the offensive line in Washington. Good Lord, Carson Wentz is going to go down as probably the most sacked quarterback of all time. I think him or Andrew Luck.
It's Cam Newton right now?
Is it Cam Newton right now?
I think so. The only Carson Wentz only sacked twice, though, but it seemed like he was just getting hit every single play. I said this a couple weeks ago to you guys on Sunday, didn't I? I was like, man, he's not getting sacked, but he is getting hit every single play.
Yeah, he got sacked 9 times against the Eagles.
That's incredible.
So the Seattle Seahawks went on the road, as we mentioned before, 148-45 over the Detroit Lions. The Tennessee Titans continue to win in Indianapolis. 24-17 is your final. The Philadelphia Eagles, that's right, EPE's very own team, held the Jacksonville Jaguars to 14 offensive points and won the game 29-21. They got off their second half schneid and scored 10 points in this game. Why does that app keep crashing? What is happening here? Brand new phone, still the same problems. Who would have guessed it? Yeah, boy.
If you like random quarter scoring, this Jacksonville Philadelphia game was for you. End of the first quarter, Jacksonville was up 14-0. End of the second quarter, Philly was up 20-14. Same score after the end of the third quarter, and then Philly scored 9 and Jacksonville scored 7 in the fourth quarter.
How ridiculous. The New York Jets went on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. This game will forever be known as Mike Tomlin's had enough of that Trubisky. New York Jets won 24-20, but Kenny Pickett is now the starter going forward, which bodes well for all those Pittsburgh Steelers to win the division betters. Very next game, we have the Buffalo Bills going into Baltimore to take on the Ravens. The Bills escaped that game with a 23-20 victory after a questionable fourth down call by Jim Harbaugh.
By the way, Kenny Pickett in that Steelers game completed every single one of his passes.
Wow.
10 to the Steelers, 3 to the defense.
What did he complete any passes to the left side of the field?
That's a great question.
A Bills-Ravens game, 23-20. Lamar Jackson marched the team down. They got stopped on third down. We're in fourth down territory. Instead of kicking the field goal to take the lead and go up 23-20, they elect to go for it on fourth down. They don't get it. Turnover on down. Bills march down, kick a field goal, get the victory. You hate to see it, but Jim Harbaugh has done it every year. He plays to get the win, and it backfires on him. So he's going to keep it pushing. Very next game, we have the Los Angeles Chargers traveling to Houston to take on the Texans. They won that game 34-24. The Arizona Cardinals beat the Carolina Panthers in what was an oddly lined game from Vegas. I believe it was a 1-point spread. Cardinals beat the Panthers 26-16 because they can't score over 20 points. Baker Mayfield continues to show that whatever happened his rookie season was make-believe. The New England Patriots took on the Green Bay Packers and took them to overtime, losing on the road to 27-24. And it crashed again, of course. Unreal. Anyways, and then we have the Raiders taking on the Broncos. That would be the Raiders at home, finally getting their first victory of the season, beating Denver 32-23. Russell Wilson continues to be pedestrian, and Geno Smith continues to outduel him statistically. So take that with whatever information you want.
I believe the stat is Geno Smith can throw the next 32 passes into the ground before he has a lower completion percentage than Russell Wilson.
You hate to see it. He has more touchdowns and more interceptions. He also has more yardage and more pass attempts. Kansas City Chiefs beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This game was put out of reach pretty early and stayed that way for the majority of it. Kansas City won 41-31, and that wraps the final slate of games. Anything you guys want to get into?
No, not really. You covered most of it.
All right. So shout out to the only current undefeated team in the National Football League. That's right. Your Philadelphia Football Eagles are still undefeated at a whopping 4-0. Eric, can you pull up Philadelphia's remaining schedule for me?
Yep.
We're going to do a little fun little exercise and be like, we're going to play everyone's favorite nationally televised game on YouTube. When will they lose? So are you ready, Eric?
Yes.
All right. Please provide week 5 and on.
So week 5 at Arizona.
Yes. Loss.
Well,
you think
okay.
that's when we lose?
Oh, right. Game over. No, all right. So Nick has loss. I think I see them very easily winning that game. DeAndre Hopkins is not back. They can't run the football. The offensive line can't protect Kyler Murray. And for some reason, that kid is fast as hell, but refuses to run the football. So Philadelphia looks poised to get another dub. EPE will be there live and in the flesh, so he probably will miss Monday's episode as well because he'll be too hungover. All right. So, man.
All right.
What's the next game, Eric?
Week 6 at home versus Dallas. Probably the game that Dak comes back.
I don't care.
Yeah.
If Dak comes back, he's going to get lit up by that front line that's going to eat into that Dallas offensive line. Okay. Dallas won't be able to run the football, and they'll have to do all the passing. Hopefully, Darius Slay is back. I see Eagles winning that game as well.
Cooper Rush stays in, though. Eagles win. Cool. Or Cooper Rush stays in, Eagles lose.
And then we have our bye week. And then week 8, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers in Philly.
Loss. Kenny Pickett completes all of his passes, but to the Steelers.
All right, so
Ben Roethlisberger style. Kenny Pickett says, "What is the Steelers?" Hold on, I'll look that up here in a second.
All right, so Eagles probably beat the Steelers if we're being honest, even though Nick keeps saying they lose to every game. What's the next game?
At Houston.
Yeah, that's a dub. Next game.
Yeah. I was like, why are we pausing?
Home versus the Commanders.
Easy dub. We've already seen what they did to them.
At
on the road. At Indianapolis. Ooh, that's an interesting matchup. Easy dub. Matt Ryan's just going to fumble the football everywhere. What's next?
Home versus Green Bay.
Okay. All right. Legitimate L. So we have Arizona this week. If you get out of here, then you should be undefeated when you see Green Bay. All right. That could be an L.
Pittsburgh plus 2,500 to win the division, by the way.
Oof.
After Green Bay, it's home versus Tennessee.
Dub.
And then 3 straight road games: Giants, Bears, Cowboys.
Yeah, maybe the Cowboys again because it is a division rival. They should have Dak better. The team will be more cohesive. So maybe the Cowboys. If I'm had to pick one, I'm not convinced.
And then to close out the season, 2 home games: New Orleans and Giants.
Oh, there it is. Week 17. You caught your L, bro. Sorry. Week 17. Almost undefeated season.
Any team to go 17-0 on DraftKings is plus 2,000. Seems a little low, no?
Well, there's only one team that can do it now.
And yeah, that's what he's saying. It seems low. It is low, but most of those undefeated bets are there's never good value in them.
So I'm still waiting for there's going to have to be a growing game or a hiccup game. So, I'm not saying we're going to beat all these teams for sure, but we have the number 1 rated O-line and the number 1 rated D-line in football right now. It's unreal.
Yeah, it's because, say it with me, Eric, Howie Roseman is a good general manager.
Yeah, I love that man.
Oh, yeah. So right.
It's a love-hate thing, dude. It's a love-hate
thing. Gave that man so much grief.
Oh my God,
fucking
I don't
ridiculous.
Want to fucking hear it.
Hey, speaking of, the Philadelphia Eagles currently have a top 5 pick in the 2023 NFL draft because, Howie Roseman's a trash general manager.
He's awful. I hate him. On Eric's behalf.
That wraps up the review. Eric, go ahead and take us into the head-to-head.
All right. So last week, we'll go. Jermaine had the Raiders -2. That's a W for you.
I had 2. All right. I thought it was 2.5, but that works.
So you're now sitting at 1-2. Nicholas took the 49ers -2.5. That game is not concluded, but they are up at halftime or early in the third.
So nowhere close. Okay.
Depending on the result, Nick is currently 1-1, and then I had the Atlanta Falcons money line.
2-1.
Atlanta Falcons money line, and I am 3-0.
All right, 3-0. Nick is going to be 2-1. Kyle Shanahan has Sean McVay's number. Sean McVay is not leading at halftime. Historically, not good for his odds at winning the football game. Since they both have been the head coaches at just Rams versus Niners, Kyle Shanahan is 6-1, and the only reason he lost is because it's incredibly hard to beat an NFL football team 3 times in a season. So when they met in the NFC Championship game and Jimmy Garoppolo choked, as he's known to do, the 49ers caught their first L, which resulted in a Rams Super Bowl. So I'd say they won the most important matchup.
I'd say.
All right. So, Eric, do you have the lines pulled up?
I do. I do have the lines pulled up.
Okay, so take us through the lines, please.
All right. So the Thursday game this week is the Indianapolis Colts at the Broncos. Colts are plus 3.5 dogs at minus 110. Broncos 3.5 or minus 3.5 at minus 110. The over under is 43.5. And money line Colts plus 155. Denver minus 180.
This game opened at minus 2.5 as well.
Denver minus 2.5. So the Jonathan Taylor injury only counted for a 1.5 point swing. Seems a little low in my opinion. Eric, for the sake of avoiding extra reading, if the juice is minus 110, you don't have to say it.
Okay.
We'll go with implied juice if you don't implicitly state it.
I love some good implied juice.
Honestly, this game is a battle of which one could suck the least.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to say it's Denver. Denver's going to be the team who sucks the least. Although they gave up 32 points to the Las Vegas Raiders. They hadn't gone over 12 or 13 points in the first 3 games. I kind of expect that trend to continue, especially if Jonathan Taylor can't be out there to run the football. Matt Ryan should be running for his life. I don't want anything to do with it, but if you're going to take any action, you would take the Broncos spread, and the under looks pretty enticing in this game.
Does the Javonte injury really affect the Broncos? I know they have Melvin, so.
Man, I didn't even think about the Javonte injury.
Yeah. That's my thing with that.
Honestly, no, because they sucked with Javonte.
Melvin Gordon has fumbled 4 times this year, by the way.
I do love coughing up the ball.
And so I don't want anything to do with this game. Let's go ahead and push into the next one.
All right, real quick, before I go to this next game, I'm sitting here watching this Monday night broadcast, and I have to ask you guys, is Troy Aikman's eyes like that because he's high or because he got concussed so much?
Concussed.
He popped all the blood vessels in his eye.
Well, no, it can't be because he got concussed so much. He played behind the greatest line in history.
Yeah.
No, he got concussed a fuck ton, though.
Okay, good.
Like, that's his claim.
Get back out there.
That's attaboy, Tua. Too soon.
See, Tua, you can do it. Look at Troy Aikman. He's fine and functioning.
No, I honestly think Troy Aikman gets high before every broadcast.
That's hilarious.
I mean, his eyes are, it's like Cheech and Chong up there. But anyway, there is another London game, it looks like. It's a 7:30 a.m. kickoff. It's the Giants are considered the road team against the Packers. Giants plus 7.5. Packers obviously minus 7.5. Over under 41.5. Money line Giants plus 295. Packers minus 360.
Yeah, so Nick and I actually talked about this pre-show. The line movement on other sites has pushed this to as high as plus 9.5 for the Giants. Nick and I will both be riding Giants at plus 9.5. Just because it's a London game, Daniel Jones could go full freak show and actually ball out this game. I think it's fascinating. But yeah, Nick and I will be on the Giants spread just purely because London equals chaos and Giants equal even more chaos. So it should be a fun matchup, but we'll take the Giants at plus 9.5, what we locked in pre-show. Let's go ahead and get into the next one.
All right, so we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Buffalo Bills. Pittsburgh is plus 14. Buffalo is minus 14. Over under 47. Pittsburgh money line plus 650. Bills money line minus 950. I don't even know why I told you guys that.
I love this plus 14 spread for a handful of reasons. The Bills defense is very injured right now. And there is no tape on Kenny Pickett. So we don't know how the offense is going to play.
Completed all his passes.
We don't know which of the targets he's going to prioritize. Probably George Pickens, since he probably practiced with him the most, right? He's a more mobile quarterback, so he can make up for some of those lapses that the offensive line has. Getting 2 touchdowns as a dog with a new rookie quarterback, I love that you can get that number. you're going to be sweating. You're going to be stressing this game because it's still the Buffalo fucking Bills.
Yeah.
And despite their performances in the last 2 games are still 3-1. But 14 points is a lot of points. And all you need is a garbage time Kenny Pickett bomb to Chase Claypool, and all of a sudden you're losing by 13 instead of 14.
I don't want any part of it, man. I don't want any part of it.
I'm riding double-digit points. I'm typically riding the dog, and I love the fact that it's going to be Kenny Pickett's first start. Yeah, I'll take the plus 14.
And to that point, McKenzie and
Gabe Davis and Jamison Crowder
are all injured. So, I mean, that's a big-ass line for a team that's banged up. I know the Bills are probably still going to win handily, but anyway, moving to the next game, we have the Miami Dolphins at the New York Jets. The Teddy Bridgewater-led Dolphins are -3. New York Jets +3. Over under 44.5. Dolphins -165 money line. Jets +140 money line.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with this game either.
Upset of the week. I think the Jets pull this win out.
Okay.
I
can see it. That's why I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, I'm saying upset of the week. Look, New York Jets +140. Don't watch.
Don't watch.
Just bet it. Don't watch though.
Yeah.
All right, Eric, can you get us to the next game?
Yeah. So we have the Atlanta Falcons at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Falcons are +8. Bucks -8. Over under 48.5. Falcons money line +310. Bucks money line -380.
By the way, because of the way the division standings break out, this is a battle for the top of the NFC South.
Unreal. So Cordero Patterson's out, for those of you who haven't been following, with Darrell Williams also being out. I would imagine that Tyler Algier gets to start. It doesn't matter. Atlanta's not going to be able to run the football against his vaunted Bucs defense. And the Buccaneers just got lit up for 41 by Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs. I know that is Patrick Mahomes, but they will be taking us out on Marcus Mariota. Personally betting the under on this matchup. 48.5 is pretty high. Other than that, don't want anything to do with it. If I had to bet something, I'm taking the under 48.5. Buccaneers obviously win this game, take their rightful spot as the top of the division, and let's keep it pushing, Eric.
All right, so the next game is the Chicago Bears at the Minnesota Vikings. Bears +7, Vikings -7. Over under 44. Bears money line +250. Vikes money line -300.
Chicago has 0 playmakers. 0. Vikings.
I also love the under in this game.
Yeah.
44.
See the aforementioned 0 playmakers. So that's why he likes the under. Division matchup. The under is the place to be. Minnesota won this handily. I don't know if I trust Minnesota to cover a 7-point spread. We just saw them struggle versus Andy Dalton. And Andy Dalton was the Bears quarterback last year. So yeah, keep it pushing.
I think it's a perfect spread. I think 7's a perfect number.
Yeah. If you're on the Bears side, +7 is a fun bet because they have to win by 8. Yeah, don't watch. They don't watch. But Vikings money line or Vikings will win this matchup. Now, if they can cover the spread, who the hell knows? We're gonna go ahead and push into the next game. Go ahead, Eric.
So it's the Tennessee Titans at the Washington Commanders. Titans -2.5. Commanders +2.5. Over under 42.5. Titans money line -140. Commanders money line +120.
So I'm a little mad at the Commanders, right? So last week I gave you guys a stat that when teams scoring 10 points or less, the next week who were dogs of less than 10 points, does that make sense to both of you?
Mm-hmm.
Were 4-0 against the spread. The Washington Commanders lost last week, which means they are now 4-1, which means But then the Commanders lost by scoring 10 points or less.
So we're back at it again.
Which means
we're right back at it.
The Commanders are right back at it. Interestingly enough, this game opened as a pick'em and has been bet up to Tennessee +3.
Sharp money has bet it up. That is very fascinating. Does the Treylon Burks injury sway any Titans bettors? They haven't had playmakers already, and they still continue to win. So I don't imagine that sways it any which way. No.
I don't think so.
Everyone's comfortable with the Tennessee Titans -2.5 spread.
It's a weird game, right? I'd be willing to put some scratch on Washington +3. I wouldn't be willing to put it on Washington +2.5.
Until Washington can protect Carson. I know he only got sacked twice, but there was people in his face the whole game. Until they can
all year,
they're losing.
Yeah, all year.
I went to practice and they were doing walkthroughs, so there wasn't even a defense on one side, and I was still getting to Carson. Yeah, honestly, this one's a very fun Washington Commanders moneyline bet. If you have the stones. All right, keep it pushing, Eric.
Next game, Detroit Lions at the New England Patriots. Lions +3, Patriots -3, over under 46.5. Lions money line +140, Patriots money line -165.
Absolutely fascinating matchup.
I love this game. Give me the Lions.
Lions plus points.
Lions plus points. Give me Lions plus points. Give me Lions money line.
Money line.
I don't care. I'll take whatever.
Lions win this game.
The Lions have not scored, or in two of their there's been one game where the Lions have not scored over 35 points. It's got to break sometime, right? They got to get a win sometime. They're 1-3 and they haven't scored over.
This is the game. Mac Jones is out. Brian Hoyer got hurt during the game. They were playing, I believe his first name is Brandon. Eric, if you can
Brandon
fact check
Zapp.
Brandon Zapp. Brandon Zapp.
Zapp or Zappy?
It's probably, I don't know. We're just saying it because
Zappe. Probably
correct.
Zappy.
Yeah, and the Patriots won last week, right?
No, they did not.
Who did the Patriots play last week? I know we just went over it, but
they lost to the Packers.
Oh, in overtime.
They covered against the Packers.
Yeah.
Again, Packers +9.5.
With Brandon Zapp.
Packers
they
covered.
Yeah. They covered. That's awesome. All right, Eric, what's the next game?
Next game, Los Angeles Chargers headed to Cleveland. Chargers -3, Browns +3, over under 47.5. Chargers money line -150, Browns money line +130.
This is the first instance this NFL betting season of one of my favorite Knicks betting nuggets. And it's a West Coast team traveling to the East Coast early. You say, but Nick, Cleveland is not East Coast. And I say, but no, sir, or ma'am. It is in the Eastern time zone, which is what matters. Cleveland +3. I love it. Give me Cleveland +3.
Cleveland money line +130. There's some juju on this. It's the Chargers. I don't know what it is, but Cleveland money line sounds like a fun bet for me. And I don't want the points. Give me all the cheddar.
Love it. All right, we're moving on.
Yes.
Houston Texans at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
What a line this is.
+7.5 on DraftKings, -7.5 for the Jags. Over under 45. Money line Texans +265, Jags -320.
So of note, the last 4 years in Jacksonville, Houston has won. They have won the last 4 games in Jacksonville. I know Urban Meyer, Doug Peterson.
No, I love that stat.
This is fascinating.
There is something about this game that screams to me, return to the media, right? return to the average, and the Jacksonville Jaguars, I don't know what it is, but these Houston Texans are game. Lovie Smith has got them playing like dogs, just like he had them playing like dogs last year as the coordinator. General Mills continues to impress me. If the Houston Texans finish with a top 10 and go get whatever quarterback is up there, I would love General Mills on my squad.
Dude's a dog.
Cost benefit analysis, of course. I'm not giving up a first round pick for General Mills or anything like that. But if the Saints could get General Mills, I would love it. That dude has some moxie, some gumption. It's him, Brandon Cooks, and Dameon Pierce. No offensive line, and they're still getting it done. It is outstanding to watch the Houston Texans play football. I love every second of it. They don't make a ton of mistakes that beat themselves. It doesn't feel like sometimes they just don't got the talent.
I believe that the Texans are the only beaten team in the league at 0-3-1.
And the NFL is a coin flip league. This feels like a game where Houston can get their win. And you're getting 7.5 points laid to you. So you're telling me the Jaguars have to win by 8 or more points? The Houston Texans spread is incredibly fun.
All right, moving on to the next game. We have the Seattle Seahawks at the New Orleans Saints. Seahawks +6, Saints -6, over under 46. Seahawks money line +190, Saints money line -225.
Go ahead.
I love this game from a Seattle perspective. We talked up Geno Smith earlier. He's playing lights out. The Saints don't know who they're starting. They don't know who's injured, right? Seattle is rolling. I'm going to get Seattle +6. Give me Seattle +6 and Seattle money line in this game.
It's absolutely fascinating. I think Nick's right. I'm staying away from it for obvious reasons. Go Saints.
Anytime I get to bet against the Saints, I'm going to take it. That's called emotional betting, kids. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next game, we got the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles at the Arizona Cardinals. Eagles -5, Cardinals +5. Over under 49.5. Eagles money line -225. Cards money line +190.
What has shown me in the first 4 weeks that the Cardinals should not be at least a touchdown dog in this game? This is another one of those things that, like, what does Vegas know that I don't know? The first 4 weeks, I get it. I harped. Early season Cardinals. Bet the early season Cardinals. Jermaine, Eric, they tried to convince me. No. This isn't the Cardinals of a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe even 3 years ago. I'm ready to believe you guys. I'm getting Philly minus, you said 5, Eric?
-5, yep.
Philly to win by a touchdown. Philly to win by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's a very interesting scoreline. I'm not sure where the Cardinals are getting this respect from. -5 on the road is still a lot of points considering you have the built-in 3-point advantage for being the home team. So if you look at it from that perspective, it's really a -8 total. I'm not scared of that at all, though. -5 is a great line. 2 field goals means you hit it. Obviously, touchdown, extra point means you hit it. I think that's a great bet. Eagles -5. Nick and I just went through the exercise of when will they lose. So it's a fascinating outcome.
All right, we're going to keep it pushing. We have the Sunday night game is the Cincinnati Bengals at the Baltimore Ravens. Bengals +3, Ravens -3, over under 48. Bengals money line +155, Ravens money line -180.
Bengals, since 2019, with a rest advantage, are 2-5. The Baltimore Ravens at a rest disadvantage since 2019, 12-3, straight up.
The over in this matchup looks great. I think the over in this matchup looks great. I think getting Ravens as a -3 home team is great. And the Ravens are going to be pissed after that Buffalo loss.
Yeah.
This is going to be a shootout. This will be one of those games that we talk about this year as being like, finally we got a good primetime game. We've had quite a bit of stinkers, including the matchup we're watching right now. So this game should be fun. I'm not going to take anything. Over looks interesting. Ravens -3 looks interesting though.
So obviously we didn't cover two of the games because they're not on DraftKings because they're the Monday night game. That would be the 49ers going to Carolina to play the Panthers at 4:05 Eastern on Sunday. Same thing that I just talked about. 49ers with a rest disadvantage are 8-1 since 2019. Carolina with a rest advantage. Fire Matt Rule. #3-7 with a rest advantage since 2019. The last game, Cowboys traveled to play the Rams 4:25 Eastern on Sunday. What do you guys got any thoughts on either of those two games?
We still have the Monday night game as well. So
yeah, we'll get to the Monday night game next. We're covering the two that aren't showing up. Yeah, obviously fade the Panthers.
I believe we don't have it on DraftKings, but to pull it up, it opened for the first game, San Francisco -3. The line is currently at -5. The Rams line opened Rams -7. It is now Rams -4.5.
I think that's the more correct line. I don't think Dallas is as bad as we think they are. They're getting healthier. They're playing better. That defense is legitimate due to the star that is Micah Parsons. They dodged a bullet because Randy Gregory is hurt now. So they didn't have to pay that $70 million fee. Yeah, that makes more sense to me. I don't want anything to do with that -4.5 because I'm still betting Cooper Rush in this game, and that's not something I want to do. But you're going to have year 9 Aaron Donald taking on year 2 Micah Parsons. That should be a lot of fun. Jalen Ramsey and Trayvon Diggs on the outside playing those corners. I'll have to deep dive Trayvon Diggs' stats, but last year he was not very good. I've heard the opposite this year. I've heard that he kind of got some of those coverage issues together, even though in training camp he was getting burnt by dudes who I don't even think are on a roster currently. Matt Stafford continues to throw a high volume of interceptions. So betting Matt Stafford to lead the league in interceptions is honestly probably one of the best bets this year.
Cooper Rush, by the way, the only Dallas Cowboys quarterback in history to start his career 4-0.
As a starter. So Cooper Rush and Jalen Hurts are the only undefeated quarterbacks this year.
Who would have thought?
As a starter, right? Because Cooper Rush came in, but Dak stunk it up most of that first game, so he don't get that. He don't get that L. Whatever line you get for San Francisco over Carolina, please.
If it's under a touchdown, hammer it.
For the love of God.
For the love of
Carolina can't score more than 20 points. Like they're anemic. They can't do it. It don't matter who's on that offense. It just fade them. All right, so those are the two games not listed due to Monday Night Football still being played. Let's go ahead and get into the last game on the docket, Eric.
So next week's Monday night game is the Raiders at the Kansas City Chiefs. Raiders +7, Chiefs -7, over under 51. Raiders money line plus 275, Chiefs money line -330.
Las Vegas Raiders last year against the Chiefs. I think I don't know if you could look this up, Nick or Eric, but the point differential is last year. I think they lost both games by over 30 points. So the point differential between the two was 60 points. 7 does not seem like enough. Raiders on the road in Arrowhead. Monday night, that place is going to be jumping. Over 51 seems like a great over. So if I'm picking anything in this line, I'm taking over 51. So
yeah, I think it's going to go way over. To Jermaine's point, last year, 2 games, the Chiefs traveled to Las Vegas, won 41-14, and then December, it was a home game. Chiefs won that 48-9. Also, to Jermaine's point, betting nuggets, Kansas City has won 4 of the last 5 games against the Raiders in Oklahoma or in Kansas City.
I was like, yo, in Oklahoma would have been a wild stat. So there you have it. 48-9 and 41-14. I mean, that point differential alone speaks for it. The Raiders, unfortunately, have started the season 1-3 and are not a 1-3 football team. That's why the spread is giving them the respect it is. I mean, touchdown dog on the road against the team that just put up 41 points against that Buccaneers defense is pretty ridiculous. Over 51 is what I'm riding in this matchup. You got anything else? Nope. All right. So we covered the head-to-head already, and now it's time to get back into it. I believe should 49ers handle business, all 3 of us have won this week. So therefore, I would be up first pick again because I'm trash. All right. And we just deep dive all the games, and I don't know what I want. You get to this, it's like one pick. You know what I mean? I got to pick one pick. And I can't pick the one that I want because it's on Monday Night Football. Interesting. Let's see. What do I got here? Do I dare take Steelers plus 14? Oh my goodness. I'm going to go ahead and I'll take the Ravens.
Okay.
-3.
It's not a bad pick.
So I'm on the docket for Ravens -3. I believe that puts Nick as the next decision maker here. And
give me Detroit +3. I want to take Detroit money line. I'm gonna take them +3 though.
Take the points when it's head to head. Bet money line at home. All right. That leaves it up to you, Eric. Who's your money line dog this week? Can't buck the trend.
I'll see you, big dog.
I wasn't the Lions. That was the one I wanted. Man, let me see.
Well, you can't take him, Eric. I got him.
Yeah, no, I know. Give me a second. I gotta find my dog.
Dead space. By the way, Eric is 3-0 betting dogs, right?
Yeah, all dogs. I'm taking another dog. I'm taking New York Jets money line.
Okay, good pick.
He's just sitting here taking my betting nuggets, bro.
Man, maybe do we go Eric's dog of the week? If he keeps hitting, we're gonna have to have Eric's dog of the week.
He can't not. He has to take dogs until he misses, and then he can go into whatever he wants. But he started a trend, right?
It's like me with the Patriots last year.
Yeah, exactly. So he has to ride that until it goes. I love the bets that we just took. Eric, give me the odds on the parlay if we took Ravens spread, Lions spread, and Jets money line.
Ravens spread, Lions spread, and Jets money line plus 756.
So there you have it. $100 will get you 756 in return. That's the 303 parlay of the week.
I'm riding it right now.
So we're going to start doing this whenever we get to the head-to-head. Eric, if you can make a new column on this doc and put the juice for the parlays, and then we'll mark it if it hits or not. We'll track that as well.
All right.
And that kind of wraps up. So we did week 4 review, week 4 bets, head-to-head, pop culture pick'em. You guys got any last nuggets for those at home?
For those of you NC State Wolfpack lovers at home, it's not going to be a perfect season. because we can't beat Clemson and Clemson. So hopefully you bet Clemson to win that game.
Yeah. That's tough loss. Tough loss. Expected or unexpected? Were you there?
I wasn't in Clemson, but it was expected.
It was expected.
It was expected.
Yeah, the offense is as bad as you both said it was.
Yeah. And the defense is as better than advertised. You hold Clemson, who just put up 60-something on Wake, to 30 points.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Got to win that football game.
If you want to change the culture of your program, you got to win that one.
Yep.
But alas, NC State Wolfpack sucks. Still probably the best North Carolina football team.
I would say so.
And Eric doesn't have anything else for us. So as always, follow us on Instagram at Twitter at Podcast Room303. I've been your host, Jermaine Colon Mendez. This has been my co-host, Nicholas Morahan. And as always, we have with us EPE. We'll see you next time when you come on down and step into the room.